Great. Hello and welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining our workshop session today with Mohamed, who is from ParaSwap, and he'll be taking us through a session, build a limit order app. And yeah, with that, I will hand it over to him to introduce himself and kick the session off.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Emily. So I am Mohamed Hassen Mami, Web3 engineer at ParaSwap. So yeah, we're gonna build together a limit order app. So first thing first, a limit order app is this thing when you want to buy a stock or you want to buy some crypto asset, let's say under some price, you want to set a limit order, or you want to, you want to sell it for over a certain price. Then you put this limit order, and it works on the other way around with the buy. So here we are going to do the sell together, and we are building this with ParaSwap and Gelato. So here is the app that we are going to build together. We are not going to start from scratch. I'm sorry. All the CSS, I did all the CSS and the heavy lifting of setting up everything, but it's gonna be a cool ride. So why ParaSwap first? ParaSwap is a DEX aggregator, so decentralized exchange aggregator. And the idea of ParaSwap, if we put apart crypto, say I want to fly one person from Paris to Sydney, and I have multiple flights at different prices, and chances are the cheapest one is one with transits. So okay, I can buy this flight, and I can fly cheaply from Paris to Sydney through Rome and Mumbai. But what if there is only 2 spots available and you want to fly 4 persons? So in this case, you have to make some choices. You can't fly all your passengers through Paris, the Paris, Roma, Mumbai, Sydney flight. Or maybe you can negotiate with the company and you can end up paying a premium to get on this flight. But when you're gonna pay this premium, you're gonna find yourself paying more than a worse price, say this one or this one. And this is where it makes sense to split your passengers across all these flights. And this is where what ParaSwap does with your cryptos, with decentralized exchanges. And this is how optimal it is. So here we can see a real life example of a ParaSwap trade that everybody can do. And you can see that it works also in small amounts for on networks like Polygon. So why Gelato? Gelato is answering this question, like how to wake up smart contracts. Because, okay, they are the best to explain this, but their white paper explains that first thing first, smart contracts are lazy, right? So the program software on the blockchain cannot run without triggering it via EOA, so an externally owned account. So at some point, it should be something outside of the blockchain that triggers the smart contract. I mean, you can come up with some bots, but they are quite complicated to maintain. You have to have some DevOps capabilities. Also, you can delegate this to a network, but it has to be decentralized. There are lots of questions. And actually, Gelato is answering these questions. So let's go together. First thing first, we are going to use a quite amount of libraries, which will help us on the way. Let's remind ourselves the app that we want to build. So as I told you, we have something that is quite, it looks like it's working, but it's not. I can maybe write some stuff, but nothing is really picking. I can click here, for instance, on connect to MetaMask. And this is the idea. We want to connect our account to MetaMask. We don't want to say, have a private key somewhere. So, okay, this is all what we are going to do. We're going to do. So first thing, let's remove the background as everybody is disturbed by this. So what we want, first thing first, is to connect our account to MetaMask. And this is where Web3 React is a convenient tool to help you do this. It does it really simply. So for this, let's just start and look at the structure of the project. It has been generated by React, Create React App. So we have a app component at the top. Then we go a bit down. So a bit deeper, we have, and so the structure, the body of the app, where we give it a Web3 React provider, which is which is mandatory to use Web3 React. So it just gives the context to the rest of your app. And for using Web3 React, you have to give it a provider, which is actually a library. It's actually what's your wallet's gonna pass over to EtherJS, which I told you, which is going to be used by Web3 React. So now let's get back to this connect MetaMask button. If I go into main, I have a structure with header, a body, but what we are looking for is in connect account. So I did a couple of things, styles apart. We have some default, so we have for connecting to MetaMask. MetaMask is one of the solutions to inject a wallet, so inside the dApp. And Web3 React has this generic injected connector that will help us grab our wallet. So what we want to do is we want to activate whenever we click on connect to MetaMask, we want to activate our wallet. So we want to connect it with the dApp. So for this, we need to grab the activate function from use Web3 React. And we have to get the account, which is the public address. So let's get back to here. We have nothing yet because we didn't activate yet the connect. We didn't connected the wallet with the dApp, and we want to do it here. So we want to activate injected, and now if I click on connect to MetaMask, all right, I should. Okay, so let's see what's going on. We want to click on, all right. Activate, injected. It doesn't seem to work. All right. You know what? I'm going to use a cheat code. So I'm getting my code from here. Activate. Okay. Demo effect. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, let's double check some stuff. Provider, all right. Right. So, connect to. Okay, I'm connected. Okay, all right. I got it. So apparently I was connected to the wrong network, which is something I didn't support. And this is because I'm connected to Ethereum and we want to do this demo on Polygon. So I'm connected, I will connect on Polygon and this is it. So I can refresh and prove myself that I can connect to Metamask on Polygon. So click on connect. Here is my address here. So once I connected my address, I can see it here. There is this code here that formatted so we can see the whole address. So this is the first step. Now the second step that we want is to say, handle these inputs here. So here I want to be able to select one of the tokens, and I want to specify what amount I want to sell. And here I'm going to get from ParaSwap the market rate. And here it will be the calculation of what I will receive based on the rate that will be here. So by default, I will have the market rate. This is what we want to do at first. But then the user can change this rate to give a better rate for himself, like to sell it at a higher price in the future. All right, so for this, we have to go back to main. And we have the limit order component, which does everything that happens here. So we go to limit order. We have some stuff. We have some variables declared, but no logic yet, because as we saw, there is we cannot like we can type stuff, but there is nothing reacting at all. So what we want to do first is to maybe have some state. So I want to maintain a state amount state. So this one will go for this input. So I can give it to this input, which is already done. This token input is a component that is reused between the token I'm selling and the one that I want to get. So we can see quickly what it does, but it's mostly some presentational component. So looking at the interface, we have to pass an amount, a token address, a token change, which is a callback function that we're gonna use to update our state at a Uber level, and on amount change if we are allowed to change the amount. Okay, so we have the amount. We can set on amount change, so we can pass set amount. And normally this should still work. We should still be able to type something, all right. We can look at DevTools to see if we are or not playing with some state. So let's see this one. If I go up, all right, not that up. Limit order. So I do have a state that where there is a 23, 12 here, and it's a string. All right. I want to keep track of the source token address, so the one that I'm selling. So I will also have a use state. And all right. So let's do this properly. Now we want to do the same for the dest token address. So now we have so we can see that there is an error. We are passing this token address, but there is an error because the exercise, the idea is to have an initial, to init this value with some token. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab my token list somewhere. So I have this file where I have few tokens. So I'm going to grab the Matic address on Polygon, which is Ethereum on ETH on Ethereum, sorry. And I want to do, say, DAI. All right. So I initialize my source token as ETH, as Matic, and my DES token as DAI, right? Okay. So I still have some troubles. Okay, apparently I didn't manage this one. All right, so because source token could be undefined, or maybe once. Okay, so now I have the source token. I can give it this setter, and yeah, so we have default tokens. I click on this, it changes. Okay, so I am keeping track of this state and this one. And for the DES token, so I need to pass also my setter here. So it's somewhere like here. I hope everyone can see what I'm doing here. All right. So now that we have our source token address and DES token address, what we want is, okay, so we have the amount first. We have to pass an initial amount just to see some number, and it's gonna make sense after when we're gonna retrieve the rate. So first thing first, we're gonna retrieve the rate. So the market rate that I'm going to get from ParaSwap. So the market rate, I can see that there is a hook already. So use market rate. It takes the source token address, DES token address, and the source amount. And we're going to use the ParaSwap SDK here. So let's just use the hook, market rate, and we're going to give it source token address, DES token address, and amount. All right. And if I look at the logic here, so I have a state, I have a use effect, a fetch, and I want to fetch some rate, and I want ultimately to set the rate, all right? So for this, we can look at the documentation, how we can easily query some rate on ParaSwap. So you import ParaSwap, you create a new instance, and you can call some methods on it. So get tokens, that's not what we are interested about, and get rate. This is the one that we are interested about. So what we can do first is create a new instance of ParaSwap. Here I will give it network 137, which is the Polygon chain ID. I want to get the rate. So I want to get, sorry, the price route. So this plugin is an AI powered. Sometimes it guesses well, sometimes not. So we want to get the rate. Okay. Am I doing right? And as we are using TypeScript, so to pass some types. And I think the IDE is a bit late. Can't find this. Let's see. Okay, the source amount. I gave it a source amount here, and it could be in the undefined. So let's say if it's undefined, we just skip. So looking at this, I can probably put a debugger and see what's going on. If it's building first, if it's building first. It should be building. Okay, it's optimal rate. So as you remember, we have one. We have always one here, so this amount will be one, and we want to sell one token, one matic for. Okay, server too busy. Let's try again. Compute price error. All right. So I have an error when querying our API. So probably I didn't pass some info right. Yeah. So I'm asking for 1 unit of matic, but in reality here, so as some of you might know, tokens are encoded with the decimals. So most of the tokens, if I'm not wrong, are encoded into 18 decimals. So here, what I have to do is multiply my number. I have to multiply it by 10 to the power of 18. But if I want to do this, I'm gonna run into an overflow. So I need to use a big number library, which will help me do this without overflow. So I can multiply and I can just do 2 fixed. Fixed. Just formatting a bit, didn't set up my prettier, unfortunately. So where are we? All right. Okay, and I have another error here where it says so optimal rate is not assignable to optimal rate. So this happens if we have an error. So this price route isn't always optimal rate. It can be API error at some point. And now we can see what's going on. So we have a price route. We can see that we have a price route. We can see it also in the network if it's more convenient. So these were all the failing requests, and this one is working well. But we stopped everything, so we can't see it. Let's just do this. All right. So here we have a price route. So the things that we want to look at here is the source amount, what we passed. So 1 and to the power 1 multiplied by 10 to the power of 18, and the dest amount, which the most optimal amount we can get by selling at this point. But what we want to do, so first is to have an idea of the market rate, but this is just indicative because what we want to do ultimately is sell our token at a higher price. So this will help us compute a market rate, but this is not what we are going to use. If we want to use it right now, we have to call another API in the ParaSwap SDK that we can pass it the price route, and it will help us execute the transaction right now. But that's not what we want to do here. So all we want to do is get an idea of what's the rate between these two tokens at instant T. So we are not going to finish this part of the code, we are just going to get some code here that does the calculation. So the idea is that this price route can be an error. So we have to skip if there is an error, or we have to handle it properly, but this is out of scope. And this will help for TypeScript also. Then what we want to do is compute this market rate, which is just simply dividing the test amount by source amount. And now we can set this rate. Once we set it, we can see that it's returned by this hook, which is use market rate. We can completely forget it from now on. If it's working, of course. And we can look at, so where it's used. It's supposed to pass, so a market rate here. This rate is desired rate, double exclamation point market rate. So as it's undefined, it's always be a market rate at this point. And we are calculating a mean return that will be interesting at the end to show what amount we are going to get. So let's see if this is working. It seems like it works. This seems to be the matic price for, yeah, if we want to sell one matic today, you get 1.22 DAI, which is also in dollar. It's an approximation of $1. You can put whatever value here. So you can see that the market price shift a little bit. This is because the more you swap, the more you're having this price impact problem. That's what I show you in my analogy with the flight. So all right, we can also check at Ether. I have Ether here. So I can see that one Ether is 3,158, which is not that much. All right, let's continue. So we have the market rate. Now what we want is to let the user put a rate here. So here for now, I cannot change this. So this is the idea. I want to be able to change this rate. So it's really classic dev. It's classic React coding. So let's just do this. Desired rate, set desired rate, and thank you, GitHub Copilot. All right, I want to set the desired rate somewhere like here. So this is a material UI component, and it's gonna give me at some point the event, and I can use it to set my desired rate. Okay, I don't want it to be undefined by default. Yeah. Okay, so now I can see this rate, and I can see, I want to buy it, to sell it only if it's over 1.4, and I can put any number. So now we are over the market price, and this is when this will be submitted. So let's connect our MetaMask and try to submit it. We can't. This is because the button is grayed here. So for this, I have also to have the whole logic to submit a sell order. And let's do it. So I can use this, this pre-made hook, which is on submit order. And I can see that that we don't have that much time, so I'm just going to use my cheat paper again, where I can show you that there is this hook. It's going to give us ultimately a callback. We're gonna see how it's used, but this callback, we are going to give it to the button to submit here. This one, we can disable it if we don't have an account. connected. Now we can submit, but at the end, we still have to have the logic. And the logic is quite simple, actually. What we have to do is, so let's see if we have a bit of time. So here I am in the use on submit callback order, which will return me a callback. This is where I'm going to submit to Gelato. So I have this hook that you can see by yourself. It's just instantiating the SDK Gelato. And what we can do here is grab this code that we had. So if the token is not ETH, we have to approve it. If not, we can pursue with the transaction. And after this, we have a functional limit order app. And this is just purely passing the, so we are passing the token address from the to token address, the amount we want to buy, to sell, and the min return, which is what we want ultimately. So I'm just going to revert this one so we can have it working. It should work out of the box. And let's try to submit an order in real time. So say I want to sell one Matic for 1.3. I can submit the sell. Here I have Metamask that opens. Okay, so Metamask opens. Why? Because of Web3 React that helped us connect to Metamask. And when we submit this transaction, we are giving the provider to Gelato. This part I didn't show you, but this is what we are giving here, the library, which is the one that we gave to Gelato. And we give it the signer, which is our account. And instead of passing the private key, we pass it a signer, which is an abstraction for saying this MetaMask account, I can confirm now this transaction. So let's confirm it. So this is a contract interaction, and I can look at Polygon scan to see what's going on. I can prove myself that it's working. To prove myself that it's working, but it can take some time. So what I want to show you at the end is that we can easily, thanks to Gelato, see at all our orders. So by just fetching orders via their SDK. So we are not going to do it. We're just going to grab it from my previous coding session. So now that we have the order history, I can just see my orders here. And this is quite simple code. Like honestly, it's just calling Gelato, limit orders, get orders. And these orders, I can give it to this hook. And this is it. This hook, I use it to just provide this list of entries, which is just React code. So what I wanted to tell you at the end, you can go further. I advise you to keep this to keep this somewhere. So you can go further by accomplishing these bullet points. Also, if you want to build with ParaSwap, it's super cool because we have this permissionless monetization. So you have to check out at the documentation. We are hiring React developers. We are hiring Node developers, Solidity developers, of course. And if you can, let's just keep in touch on Twitter. So these are our Twitter handles, but we are an army, as Munir likes to say. And I just want to finish by saying just usual.
Thanks so much, Mohamed. That was a really great session. And yeah, I guess more time needed to get through absolutely everything. I've saved the questions in the chat, and what I'll do is I'm going to transfer these over into the sponsor ParaSwap Discord channel, and Mohamed will be able to answer all those questions there, and hopefully also share a link to the slides that he took us through.
Sure. I can see all the questions in the chat. I'm just screenshotting it, and I'm going to answer it in Discord if it's okay for everyone.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much, Mohamed. Yeah, I'll also just transfer those over, no worries. And thanks everyone for joining, and yeah, have a great Monday.
Thank you, you too.